Good evening and welcome to the final NCWLIFE Evening News of 2022. Grant Olson is away this week. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We've got a lot of news to wrap up for the last newscast of the year, but first let's take a quick look outside our weather window. This is the view from our #1 Canyon camera. It was a relatively clear day that topped off that dumping of snow we saw overnight, but as you can see, things have misted over since then. A lot of snow overnight. Our producer Malcolm has been groaning all day from the pain in his back after clearing out his driveway. And he's not the only Wenatchee Valley resident to hit the ibuprofen after this morning. About 8 inches fell at my house today, and the volumes were similar elsewhere. But look at that 7-day. We're still on course for a relatively pleasant weekend, with our forecast calling for a fair amount of sun through the New Year's evening. NCWLIFE's own Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later on this evening with your full weather outlook. Right now, a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Departing Sheriff Brian Burnett has a new job, and he says it won't take him far from his lifelong home in Chelan County. State troopers will be keeping an extra eye out this weekend for impaired drivers throughout Washington and neighboring states. And the Chelan County PUD's general manager talks over the outages that plagued customers during some of the coldest weather of the year. But first, our top story tonight. Chelan County prosecutors say they need to bring an incarcerated witness from Idaho to testify in a Wenatchee rape trial. 26-year-old David Ernesto Lopez is free on $75,000 bond and accused of sexually assaulting a woman at his McKittrick Street apartment in December 2020, then imprisoning her by blocking the door when he left the next day. The witness is expected to testify that he received texts from the victim that morning and helped her to escape. However, he was recently sentenced to a prison-based drug treatment program in Idaho. Yesterday, Judge Travis Brandt signed an order certifying the man as a material witness, formally asking Idaho to transport him to court for testimony. Lopez is charged with second-degree rape and unlawful imprisonment. He's scheduled for trial starting on January 10th. Well, Chelan County's newly retired Sheriff Brian Burnett announced his future plans this week. In his last official podcast for the county on Thursday, Burnett says he'll take an administrative post with Seattle's finest security and traffic control, a private Seattle company that employs many current and former police officers.
First of the year, we're going to be hitting it hard in my new position, which is great because it actually allows me to work remotely, which is a great thing. Can't say enough about the owners, Raleigh and April Evans of Seattle's finest security and traffic solutions. It's a good fit for me, as I'll be helping manage one of their contracts that they just secured for the Port of Seattle. And then I'm working on the side with another contractor that does some law enforcement leadership training and some consulting. I'm going to be helping that business write a couple classes and then being available to teach on the side.
Good luck to our former sheriff. Washington State Patrol troopers will be out in force this New Year's weekend on the lookout for impaired drivers. The State Patrol is part of a 7-state effort called Eyes on the Interstates, designed to increase awareness of dangers and consequences of driving under the influence. The State Patrol said Thursday they have investigated 300 fatality collisions this year, up 7% from last year and up 38% since 2020. In addition, there have been 11,000 arrests for impaired driving. The other states participating in Eyes on the Interstate are Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, California, and Nevada. Well, thousands of people around the Wenatchee Valley have suffered through a power outage so far this winter season due to fallen trees, substation faults, or other causes. In a seasonal social media message today, Chelan County PUD General Manager Kirk Hudson says his agency appreciates the tolerance shown by its ratepayers during those outages.
I'm really grateful for the patience in challenging times. And this last Christmas, we had some challenges on our hands with some extreme weather. It was single-digit temperatures, significant amount of snowfall, and some outages that impacted our customers. And we know it's hard to go without services, and they really demonstrated their spirit in terms of being patient and actually trying to help wherever they could. And so I'm just really grateful for our customer owners. I'm also grateful for our employees that work so hard to serve our customers. Our employees were out in some just significant extreme conditions with the snow and the single digits and for extended periods of time, all trying to restore service to our customers so they can enjoy the holidays with their friends and families.
And when we come back, we'll look at plans for a road and water improvement package in East Wenatchee And we'll show you just how beautiful wintertime in north central Washington can be, even if you did strain your back shoveling snow this morning. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A major project by the City of East Wenatchee and Douglas County to improve both 19th Street and Northwest Cascade Avenue and to build a new regional stormwater treatment facility is expected to begin next summer. The county will hold an open house on the project January 10th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Douglas County Public Services Building on 19th Street. Both roadways will be widened with the installation of bike lanes and sidewalks on both sides of the street. The regional stormwater treatment facility will be on property the city purchased near that intersection. Much of the funding for the project is provided through state ecology and transportation grants, with the city and county sharing the remaining costs. Well, a Moses Lake girl wanted to celebrate her 7th birthday last Friday by delivering treats and paper hearts with messages of encouragement to police officers. Unfortunately, all the officers were out on the street when she showed up at the Moses Lake Police Station. This week, though, the department put out a call for help locating the little girl, and on Thursday, they found her. Officers then went to her home to celebrate her belated birthday. In addition to their thanks, the officers delivered the girl a stuffed toy modeled on their canine chief. Well, winter weather in north central Washington offers its terrors, its inconveniences, and occasionally its beauties. We like to try and capture all of those aspects through our local Sky-Fi cameras. Here's what we saw this morning when we glanced through our lenses at Hay Canyon, just outside of Kashmir. Oh, there's a little slice of heaven. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, it's the final installment of our 2022 News Wrap-Up. And Dan Kuntz has your complete local weather forecast. That plus much more still to come. Please stay with us.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do A lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The year's end is the time for looking back and taking stock. So tonight, we look back on the final 4 months of 2022 as glimpsed by our news cameras. Take a look.
Arch Ecker, the voice of the Wenatchee Wild, died in September 2022. Ecker was a veteran broadcaster who spent more than 5 years calling Wild hockey games and occasionally guest hosting broadcasts for NCWLIFE. That same month, a dispute came to a head between Wenatchee and Chelan County over land annexations into the city. Mayor Frank Kuntz said the county was unfairly standing in the way of some annexations from the city's urban growth area. Governor Jay Inslee announced all COVID-19 restrictions in Washington would end as of October 31st. His emergency orders, which lasted more than 2 years, demanded vaccination, masking, and other steps in multiple sectors of the state, including health care. The Wenatchee School District announced it would build a women's softball facility to settle a Title IX complaint pointing out inequities with the men's baseball program at Wenatchee High School. The district set aside about $4 million, but the cost could reach $5 million or more, depending on how it's financed. And the Wenatchee River Salmon Festival found a new home at Rocky Reach Discovery Center, as renovations got underway at its longtime site at the Leavenworth Fish Hatchery. In October, Leavenworth's Oktoberfest went forward as planned, as did Leavenworth Oktoberfest in Wenatchee. The dueling celebrations became the focus of a lawsuit as the city of Leavenworth tried to stop the longtime festival organizers from using the name Leavenworth at their event. Those organizers are counter-suing over the rights to the name. The case could be heard in federal court next summer. Under smoky skies, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited Wenatchee alongside both Washington senators and Congressmember Kim Schreier, touting the Apple Capitol Loop transportation project in Chelan and Douglas counties. That effort to ease traffic flow around the valley has received $92 million in federal funding and includes the proposed construction of a North Wenatchee bypass. Department of Fish and Wildlife officers shot and killed an adult female black bear that mauled a Leavenworth woman near her home. The bear was accompanied by 2 9-month-old cubs, both of which were captured for rehabilitation. In November, voters went to the polls and elected a new sheriff for Chelan County. Mike Morrison defeated 3-term incumbent Brian Burnett to become the county's top law enforcer. A narrower contest for Chelan County Commissioner saw Sean Smith of Cashmere elected to the job. And Marty Young became the first new Chelan County clerk to take office in the last 12 years. Douglas County elected its first ever coroner, a position previously held by the county prosecutor. Tanner Bateman ran unopposed to become the county's chief officer in charge of death investigations. Devotion, a Korean War air combat movie that was partially shot at Pangbourne Airport and around the Wenatchee Valley, made its debut in theaters. The Chelan County PUD's new headquarters and old station began to take shape, with the utility district opening up the main building for public tour. The Wenatchee City Hall officially opened for business at its new location, the site of the former Wenatchee Federal Building. And Wenatchee Valley College named a new president, Famous Harrison, currently the dean of the Stockton campus of California State University Stanislaus. He was one of 46 applicants to replace Jim Richardson. He's expected to start work at the college January 3rd. December saw the Washington Supreme Court allowing the state to collect a new capital gains tax, even though a Douglas County court had ruled it illegal. Foes of the tax on high-end capital assets successfully sued before Judge Brian Huber, who found the tax unconstitutional. The Supreme Court said it will review the case on appeal from the state, and meanwhile the Department of Revenue can begin rulemaking on how to gather and allocate the money. Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
Happy Friday, everybody. The last Friday of 2022. Dan Kuntz again filling in for Grant Olson as we take a look outside of our weather window. This is our camera up the Hay Canyon Way as we have a beautiful view of snow-covered Cashmere, of course, Hay Canyon, named after the Cashmere pioneer Bob Canyon. Everybody's covered in snow because we got snow, just as predicted from the National Weather Service. Got 6 inches of snow, most of it between 10 o'clock last night and about 5 o'clock this morning. So for the year, we're up to 33.5 inches of snow, and we're only 9 days into winter. Think about that for a little bit. And look at that record low on this date, minus 21, the coldest day ever recorded in the Wenatchee Valley. And on that day up in Winthrop, it was like minus 40. Now that's cold. Ain't going to have to worry about that anymore. And we're not going to have to worry about the snow much anymore either. In fact, for the next 5 days or so, until we get to the middle of next week, it's going to be pretty quiet. Weather-wise, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the temperatures you can expect on Saturday, New Year's Eve. As a matter of fact, temperatures pretty close together and pretty similar to what we've had. Temperatures just a couple of degrees above normal. Out of the basin, Moses Lake 35, Ephrata 36, Quincy 36. Ellisburg, a little cooler. Omak, a little cooler. Wenatchee will top off at about 37 degrees. We had some snow melt today. Roads are getting a lot better, and we'll have more snow melt, as a matter of fact. Then we'll have a gradual cool down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Outside of that, temperatures pretty much where they should be this time of the year. All right, let's take a look at what's going on out here. This is the rest of the day today. That snow is gone. It's out of here. Thank you very much. But we got 6 inches of snow. And so for the rest of the day today, pretty quiet, all things considered. The real pattern is going to be in the overnight hours. You'll see that patchy fog reform again, and then it burns off in the late afternoon, late morning, early afternoon hours. Saturday's looking pretty good. Just a couple of stray snowflakes in some locations. No real snow in the mountain passes, too. That's good news. Let's jump ahead to New Year's Day on Sunday. Again, another quiet day. The fog might be a little more dense on Sunday morning before it finally burns off on New Year's Day. New Year's night, not bad at all. Again, patchy fog reforms. We'll get down to about 24 degrees. Monday, for a lot of people, a day off, a little bit cooler, a little bit Arctic air. Going to seep down from British Columbia, going to cool us down a little bit. We're also going to see a few more clouds on Monday. So we can expect sunshine off and on Saturday and Sunday, not so much on Monday. Sun's also going to take Tuesday off as well for the most part. And again, Monday and Tuesday pretty much going to mirror each other. You see that big thing out there in the Pacific Ocean? Don't worry about it. It's going to slide up. Not going to have any effect on us here in the Wenatchee Valley. It'll dissipate before it even works its way into the Pacific Northwest. Wednesday, another fairly quiet day, maybe a couple of stray snowflakes, 30% chance at that. Look at that big low spinning out there. That's lower than my credit rating. Just like that other thing I showed you, it's going to move right on out of here. It's going to bump up against the coast and whoop, right on up to British Columbia. So all in all, until we get to Wednesday or Thursday of next week, as we look at Thursday, see maybe a few more snowflakes, but no significant snow event, which is fine by us. We almost got 34 inches of snow already this year. So all in all, things pretty quiet weather-wise, and I'm glad to say that. I almost got hit by a car. From our friends at the National Weather Service, brought to you by Apple Valley Honda. Here you go in detail. We did get to see the sunshine this afternoon. Felt a lot warmer than 36, didn't it? Sun and the snow, it'll do that. 29 for the overnight low, and then the same pattern for the next 3 days. Morning fog, some of it pretty dense, eventually burns off, 11:30, noon or so, then sunshine in the afternoon, a degree warmer on Saturday. We do it all over again on Sunday. Happy New Year, 2023. Morning fog and clouds, some of it quite dense in some locations, sunshine in the afternoon on Sunday. Monday, the sun's going to take the day off, probably going to be hungover, I suppose, with a high of 29, but lots of clouds. Monday and Tuesday, pretty much the same deal. Clouds, look at the temperatures, very consistent. And then we start talking a little chance of snow on Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll know more when we get back together again next week. That's your forecast. Still to come, sports with Eric Grandstrom. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
NCWLIFE Channel is your home for local sports with the Wenatchee Panthers and East Mont Wildcats right here. Coverage brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Biosports Physical Therapy, Clean Connection, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Together for You. Follow all the action right here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE Channel. And a happy Finally Friday. For the fifth time in school history, the Washington Husky football team finishes with 11 or more wins. Washington held on to beat Texas last night in the Valero Alamo Bowl, 27-20, behind an MVP performance from Michael Penix Jr. While the Huskies had the Longhorns thinking pass, Washington handed the ball off to Michael Tuapapa for the game's first touchdown from 42 yards out. That put the Huskies up 10-3. Then, midway through the third quarter, Penix was able to find Taj Davis on this 6-yard touchdown pass, put the Dogs up 20-10. Washington's scored its final touchdown early in the fourth quarter on this beautiful 8-yard strike from Penix to Jalen McMillan. Makes an incredible catch, reaching behind and plucking the ball off his shoe tops and keeping it from hitting the turf. That put the Dogs up 27-10. Coach Kalen DeBoer proud of how his team ended an 11-2 season.
Tonight was a culmination, I think, of everything that we've worked on. You know, the things that we've tried to improve. Especially in the latter half of the season, you saw our physicality, I think, take that next step, and finding a way to win is something that, I think we've really emphasized and told the guys last night, if it's a close game, we're going to find a way to win, and kind of that refuse to lose mantra has been a piece of what we've talked about a lot too. So super proud of this team, super proud of these guys up here.
Washington started the game with a trick play that Michael Penix says was planned for the day before the Alamo Bowl.
Wayne might get a little salty. Other players, if they see this, they might get a little salty. But Coach Grubb, he actually told me yesterday, he was like, this is going to be the play. Don't tell nobody. We just want to, just go out there, execute it. So, it was, today in walkthroughs, I almost told Wayne, and I was just like, nah, I can't do it.
I'm not going to lie. I said, huh? Wayne said, yeah, Frankenstein. I said, huh?
So I told Coach Grubb might be mad. I told Wayne whenever we went out as captains, I was like, hey, we going Frankenstein first play. So I held it as long as I could. But, we knew we were going to do it, and we practiced it all week long, and we knew that the execution was going to be clean. So Jalen Pope making an amazing catch on that one, taking the hit as well. The offensive line giving me time to be able to throw the ball on that situation. It was amazing.
Washington has plenty to be proud of as they head into next season after a 27-20 win over Texas in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Seahawks face a must-win situation when they host the Jets on Sunday. For Seattle to have any chance of making the playoffs, they must beat the Jets, then the Rams the following week. An element that will make Sunday's matchup difficult is the return of Mike White at quarterback, according to Seahawks defensive coordinator Clint Hurd.
I think they are, when they have Mike White playing, they seem more settled, calm. You can tell they have a lot of confidence in him when he's out there and running the offense. They are a physical team up front. They do want to make it a point to go and run the ball. Brees Hall, obviously, that was a big loss for them. The kid's a really talented player, looking at the films from earlier in the season. But the other backs they have, they all run hard. They're physical. Two quality tight ends in the receiving core. Quality guys and a lot of depth. And obviously Garrett Wilson is a really talented kid with a bright future. So this is a talented group. They obviously have a quarterback coming in that they feel good about and they're confident in. We got to make sure we're ready and prepared.
Seattle and New York kick off Sunday at 1:05 on Fox. Rest of the NFC West schedule looks like this, with Arizona visiting Atlanta Sunday morning at 10 on Fox. San Francisco visits the Raiders in Las Vegas at 1:05 on Fox. Rams and Chargers battle of the L.A. at 1:25 in the afternoon. That'll be on CBS. Eastern Washington picked up a road win in men's college basketball last night. Angelo Allegri scored 19 points. Dane Erickstrup had 17 as the Eagles beat Montana 87-80. Women's college basketball, Haley Van Lith scored 24 points, had 6 assists to lead Louisville over Syracuse 86-77.
Front. Van Lith all the way to the rim, got it. 3 for 8 from 3 to start. Van Lith for 3, bullseye. Orange going left to right. Van Lith trying to pick up where she left off with the follow. Harris back on the floor, gives it off to Van Lith. A tough runner, got it. Looking for that lefty jumper, got it. It's so pretty. Louisville is able to pull away and end up winning this one 86-77.
Other action last night, 19th ranked Gonzaga beat Pepperdine on the road 77-63 behind 26 points from Kaylin Strong. Eastern fell at home to Montana 81-70 on the Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard from yesterday. Lake Stevens down Moses Lake. Freeman beat Quincy. Kashmir stopped Zilla in the Sundome 45-34 the final on that one. Republic repelled Pateras. Waterville Mansfield won on the road at Elmira Cooley Heartline 41-30. Busy day for the boys yesterday. Moses Lake beat Heritage 71-47. Meade edged Quincy in overtime by 3. Columbia Burbank beat Brewster. Kashmir rallied for a 47-26 win over Riverview. Freeman topped Chelan. Lake Roosevelt beat Garfield Palouse. Republic edged Pateras. Riverside Christian beat Eniat. And ACH topped Waterville Mansfield 62-29. On a busy schedule here for today. Well, some of it's already in the can. Kashmir and Ellensburg down at the Sundome earlier today. Omak also hosting Kittitas. Wenatchee welcoming Ridgeline this afternoon. Warden visits Okanagan. Moses Lake wraps up the holiday mixer against Othello. Coming up tomorrow, Chelan visits Liberty Bell at 11:30. Boys basketball schedule. Again, some of these already done. Brewster took on Mark Morris at the Sundome. Cascade hosting Connell. Kittitas playing at Omak. Wenatchee wraps up or makes up a game at Cheney coming up at 5:30. Okanagan hosts Warden at 6. Kashmir plays at Granger at 8. Tomorrow at Chelan at Liberty Bell at 1 o'clock. Seattle Kraken back on the NHL ice tonight, 7 o'clock against Edmonton. That's only on ESPN Plus or Hulu. They'll host the New York Islanders coming up on Sunday. That game is on ESPN. Seattle trying to snap a 2-game losing streak in the process. Wenatchee Wild also home this weekend after the holiday break. They will take on the Prince George Spurs Kings in the Disco Inferno at the Town Toyota Center tonight, sponsored by Localtel. 7:05 they'll drop the puck. 5:05 coming up tomorrow as they'll ring in the new year on the ice tomorrow night. Go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com if you'd like to pick up tickets there. Hope to see you at the game tonight. Finally, after more than a year battling brain lymphoma, local sports personality Don West has passed away. In fact, it happened last Friday. West was the gravelly voiced pitchman who took the Wenatchee Valley by storm in the late 2000s. He came to Wenatchee as part of the TNA wrestling crew at the Town Toyota Center. He and his wife Terry fell in love with the Valley, and soon Don was working for the Wenatchee Wild. Following a successful campaign there, Don took on the role of talk show host on KPQ Radio and quickly became the sports voice of the Wenatchee Valley. From his love of all things sports, his beloved Cubbies, to his fellow babies and tremendous, Don, a true original. His presence has been missed while he battled his illness, and now a large hole is left in the wake of his passing. A Diet Pepsi on the way to you, Don. There's still a GoFundMe page set up if you'd like to help donate in his memory with the expenses for Terry. Don West, just 59. That's a look at sports news. Have a happy new year. Jefferson, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, for all your hard work on sports this year and for that nice tribute. Well, as the year winds down, NCWLIFE is saying goodbye to one of our most valuable players. Cal FitzSimmons, news director for our station since 2018, retires from the NCWLIFE family today. Cal joined the broadcast operation after 8 years as managing editor of the Wenatchee World. That's where he and I got to know each other. And he had a long career in Northwest journalism in the years prior to that. He's been a calm center in the midst of some major news events we've covered in the last few years. We will miss him, but the door's always open. Cal, we hope you feel free to come back and write some stories for us anytime. And that's it for this evening's edition of the newscast of NCWLIFE. We hope to see you again next week. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. Remember also, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. 3-day weekend ahead. Grant Olson will be back with you on Tuesday, January 3rd. From all of us here, Happy New Year.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE channel.
Ryan!
It all starts somewhere. Join the NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Top 10 selection process. Tune in to our Facebook page for the Get to Know You on Monday at 6 p.m., the Top 10 speeches Tuesday at 10 a.m., and the Top 10 announcement at 6 p.m. Coverage is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch it all on the NCWLIFE channel Facebook page.